Stick drift, perfect repair is not easy, but this is as close as I can get so far. This pad is now pucker. That's as you can see, there's an unpopulated help sheet, and I used gamepadtester.com to calibrate the dead spots and verify whether the circularity was reaching 100%. And I will show you what some of the parts are if you've not seen them. There you have, that's an old damaged board upside down. Right way up, you've got one potentiometer still on there, the other one was desoldered. And the potentiometer sides and wipers are the ones that go, which are these 10k trim pots for the DualShock 4. There's your wiper or track. That one's the track. I can't remember which one's the track and which one's the wiper, but you get the picture. Get out of the way. Right, what we've got up here is trim pots, 3mm by 3mm trim pots that make it possible for you to recalibrate newly soldered in sides and wipers to the board that's already been factory calibrated to the sticks that were soldered on. So you end up with trouble. So you've got 30k, 50k, 100k, 200, 500 and 1,000,000k resistance trim pots. I've not actually had to use the 30k trim pots, and what 30k does is it draws in the dead spot size, so it makes it really small, but it also draws in the outer 100% boundary, so you might not get 100% range of your response curve. So having a small dead spot is not the be all and end all, because you will lose your maximum turn speed and acceleration and all the rest of it in game. I've only ever had to use 50 as the most aggressive, and I won't go into all the details on this sheet. Where shall I start? I'll start at the 500, 100 and 200k trim pots used. Open, tested and centered, obviously, because you have to do it with a screwdriver. Case pressure can change results. So once you've put the pad all back together again and the battery tray is resting on top of your little trim pots, which are in there 3 by 3mm with a little screwdriver centerpiece, it might change the values, but here goes. Right, max resting dead spot. The value closest to the circle, that 0667, open and closed. So open is when I'm testing it and closed is once it's all screwed back together. That's got a 50k resistance trim pot on axis 1, 200k on axis O, and open it was coming out with very small values, 02745, which is good. And then I closed it all up and it's going 05882 max. You can't win them all. It's weird. Pressure changes everything. But the right stick, axis 3, 100k resistance trim pot, and a 50 on the axis 2. So where are they? Let me just get them out. I've messed this video up already. Right, there we go. These grey ones, the ones I replaced, the originals, and the value on them, can't find the piece of paper anymore, was 10.2 something k resistance. So they're over the 10k, that's the norm, because you can always add extra trim pots to your main potentiometer sides soldered in parallel to bring the resistance value back down again, which is what pulls in your circularity and recalibrates your sticks. And what you can see, what we've got there, oh yeah, and when you do the circularity test for your 100% ranges, it's good to have about a 10% overshoot of your circle, because then you've got scope to dial your centre back in left, right, up, down without coming under the 100% circularity. So that's open test and then close test. Because you've closed it, you've cinched up all the case give, and you can then lever your analog sticks a little bit further on their shaft against the case ring. And then I've tested it all when it's gone back together, and I've written down every single button tested and pushed, especially the triggers. They sometimes, when they wear out, they don't get up to 100% pressure. L3, R3, they're tested. Everything's tested. Touchpad, and just go through the charge, connect, headphone jack, touchpad, scroll and press, and all the other buttons. And the last, oh yeah, I've put the screwdriver rotation up near the axis number, and I've put it on this is a control pad representation flipped upside down, so when you're looking at it, you can tell where your little screwdriver, that would be the trim pot, and what direction you need to go to put it in the direction you want it for your centre. Then I've added the K resistance on that part of the drawing as well. And then I did the Playroom test, which is like a game on the cross media bar. It rumbles your motors for you, and it shows you your motion sensor in use, and it will use the speaker and the light bar as well. It also does the touchpad, but the touchpad is covered on the gamepad-tester.com calibration website, so you don't really need it on there. And this is just the last highlight. These numbers here, this is how I test whether or not it's going to be a good or a foul. 09804 is a foul on your dead spot maximum resting position. 09020 is the maximum that will cause you no problems. But 0667 is a midpoint, that's really good. 04314, that is super tight, that's fantastic. And 00392 is the closest possible reading, but if you're aiming for that, you really need to make sure that your outer circularity is reading 100% when your case is open, because there's a potential there for it to go under 100% range, and you've completely just ruined your outer circularity and response curve, so you won't turn around quick in battles or accelerate to maximum speed using your analog sticks. And that is just the infill knowledge, and I'll show you a test of that on the calibration. Thanks for watching this update. Goodbye.